welcome back to another chaotic video
about our chaotic lives.
And today we'll be talking about something maybe a little bit controversial, but it is what we dislike about Korea. So we have about 8 things that we could mainly think about. A few of them are kind of connected. So yeah, let's just get on into what we don't like about Korea.
Disclaimer. Quick disclaimer, we want to make known that we love Korea, we love their culture, we love the people. There's just some things that we personally just did not like. So in this video we are talking about our personal experiences, our personal feelings. In no way, shape, or form should you feel the same way or that we are hating on anyone. We love Korea.
These may not bother you, but they bothered us, so
yes.
That's why we're talking about them, just to make others aware that Korea is not perfect. But anyways, let's just get on into the first one, which is bus systems.
I personally don't have a problem with bus systems or public transportation because I stayed there long enough that I figured it out, but Emily does not like it.
It's so confusing, and half the time it's not in English. I don't know what bus stop I'm going to. Half the time my friends would just be like, just get on the bus, go down 2 stops, and then get off. Nothing's in English. I don't know when they're stopping. They don't stop at every stop. So it's like, I press the button, okay, yeah, and I'm like 4 stops down. It was just very inconvenient. It's so confusing. There's no English. I don't know what the heck bus stops I'm going to. I don't use the bus. There's too many stops. Subway stops are easy because there's not that many of them.
Well, the great thing about their buses is their line is either in a circle or a U, so you always circle back to where you come from. So
yeah, I don't know. The buses.
I will say the most difficult thing with buses is you don't know which side of the street to catch it, because the bus number will be on both sides of the street, because again it does a U or a circle. So you'll get in on this side and then you'll whip around, and maybe one time I was with a friend, we actually had to go the entire route because we got on the wrong side of the number bus. So.
Yeah. That, and I guess the worst experience on the bus, we were heading back down from going hiking one day, and that was like the smallest bus ever, and it was completely packed. Like, me and my friend, we were like literally on top of each other. And, you know, the bus is doing this, and I'm like, I'm about to fall, we're about to headbutt, like something's about to happen. So it was just, I just don't like buses. I prefer the subway or a car, preferably. So then I guess next would be public trash cans.
Just trash in general. Trash in general is so frustrating. You don't really know where the trash goes. You don't know what days it goes out. They have this thing called a sludge bag where you put all your nasty leftover food in, and there's supposed to be like a bucket or something that it goes in. Where do you get trash bags? It's not normal ones. You have to go to like a convenience store or something to get trash bags. And
you gotta specifically ask for them. You're not gonna find them on the shelves.
Exactly.
You have to like go into a special place, find the trash bags, find the proper trash bags for the proper items. If it's plastic, you better be putting that in recyclable. If it's your nasty sludge, which is like old egg shells and fruit, and maybe if you're cutting off certain parts of the meat, that's gotta go in the sludge bag. You just wanna throw away just regular trash. It's gross.
And it has CCTV, so if you don't put it in the correct place where the trash is, then you can get in trouble or you can get fined. So
yeah, I think honestly we would probably get away with that a little bit.
Oh yeah, there's many times we would sneak something and something that didn't belong because we were just so confused, and it's not foreign friendly. So
and it's like half the time, you know, they don't have the little sludge buckets outside. So we're like, well, we don't know where to put that. So one time we had a pack of old frozen chicken and we didn't know what to do with it, so
we just slid it somewhere.
Yeah,
sorry.
Around the corner.
Sorry,
of my house.
to deal with it. And then another thing is they don't have public trash cans. In America, you will see a public trash can everywhere where there's tourists because, you know, you gotta throw your trash away. Not in Korea though. The only place that they really have public trash cans is in the subway station. And again, they are recyclable and it's confusing. And if you have leftover drink, you have to pour it in a community bucket thing of other people's drink leftovers, and it's just overall gross. The trash man
like,
stinks.
You can't just put your trash in. If you have liquid in your cup and there's no bucket of old drink and ice, you have to just set it on the edge.
Yeah.
And if the edge gets full, then it just starts spreading out on the ground below the trash can. So it's all around just gross. I think I found maybe 2 or 3 public trash cans in one city, and that is in the entire areas of Korea that I have visited. So
it's ridiculous. And like I said, the trash man, like the truck that comes by and picks up the trash, smells absolutely disgusting. You want to avoid it as much as possible. When you see that truck, you
have
go.
to outrun it. You have to just go.
You start booking it. You don't want to be behind that truck. You will smell dirty.
You will literally throw up probably on the street. I have gagged many times from the trash can. It's so gross.
I don't know how they stay so clean, because even in Myeongdong, where they have the market and stuff, and just really touristy places, they don't have them, and it's just random bags on the side of the street.
And so you just hope
but they're still clean, so it's I don't understand it.
Very weird.
Yeah. Alright, our next one is, let's talk about bathrooms. They are very frustrating. Bathrooms are
not your friend unless they have heated toilet seats. Then they're your friend, because you know you're in a rich area. So you're probably not going to have any of these problems. But most public bathrooms are just gross. I'm sorry, they are.
No toilet paper.
No toilet paper, or maybe it's on the outside of the stalls, or you have to go to another business and you have to ask for the toilet paper. And sometimes I'll have a vending machine for toilet paper, because they don't want to provide it for just anybody and everybody. Some subways will only have squatty potties.
So you gotta squat.
And I don't see how you can use it.
And one problem for us, I don't think many other people would probably have a problem with it, is that the entire bathroom is like a shower. And some people might be like, oh, that's just so convenient because you can get everything wet and you can just have a fun time in there. No, it is awful. I hate it with a passion, because I will be taking a shower and my clothes that I conveniently sit on the toilet so that when I'm done they're there, get wet. The toilet paper gets wet, and toilet paper is not cheap, okay? No. And once you wet toilet paper, it's pretty much is bye-bye toilet paper. So it's just frustrating. And your shower head, most of the time, this is for common people, it's attached to the sink. So you literally are taking a shower on the toilet. You can sit on the toilet and just be washing your hair. And it's gross.
It would be different if you could pull a shower curtain and just have, just all in the bathroom. Okay, the floor might get wet, but if you try to a shower curtain just to block off the area that you physically can get wet, it would be a lot better. But no.
You're just sitting on the toilet, cleaning your butt and everything. So.
It's so dangerous. You gotta think about it, because it's not just the shower, not even a shower. It's you have your toilet, you have your sink, your mirror, all that stuff, and your washing machine. So it's unsafe. You could just slip and whack your head on something, which honestly I have almost slipped quite a few times. And it's so annoying to constantly have your bathroom floor wet, or your toilet wet when you have to go use the bathroom. When you have to use the bathroom after someone goes and takes a shower, it is so frustrating. It's gross.
So gross. And then sometimes, depending on where, how big the bathroom is, depending on where the washer machine is at, it drains on the floor as well. It took me a while to learn that. I kept wondering, why is the washer not working? Why is the water not draining out of it? My clothes should be clean by now. I had to bring the pipe and put it down on the ground for it to drain out. So it's just so much grossness that goes on in the bathroom, and you have no fans in the bathroom.
And we don't mean as in gross as, they're filthy or they're disgusting for having it. It's just personally, in our culture, we don't experience that. It's more about, the feeling of being wet. It's and the feeling of being cramped.
You don't like humid weather?
Yeah.
You don't like humid weather, so why would you want a humid, wet bathroom? And you try to use the bathroom, do your business, and then your butt's wet because the toilet seat's wet.
Yeah.
And then the toilet paper's wet.
Now you got a warm, wet butt, and that's not fun. Then you gotta re-wipe your butt. Oh, and their towels are like a face towel in America. Yeah, there's
Could
nothing
you
you
not?
can carry. Like, if you want to cover your body, if you have to go out of the bathroom, you can only cover one half. Like, it's either the top or the bottom, and I would advise the bottom if you're gonna cover something. And it's bring a towel. Just bring a towel. Don't use the towels.
And then watch out where you stay, because like when I was at my Korean friend's house, it was an old apartment, I will admit. It was really old, fairly small. She let me have her bedroom, she slept in another bedroom, and then her parents is where you could turn on the water heater, which means I took very cold showers almost every day unless she was home or her mom was home. Usually it was just her dad, and her dad worked at night, so he's in his bed sleeping, snoring. I can't just ask him to turn on the water heater. One, I don't know that word in Korean. I don't know how to say, anything like that. So usually what I have to do is so most of the time I would say they have like a bucket in the bathroom, and I would empty out the bucket of whatever gross old water, and as soon as I would turn on that, I turn it on hot, and then fill that bucket with as much like hot water, then the cold comes in, it gets a little warm. Wash my hair with cold water, then when I went to clean my body, I used the warm water. But so yeah, it's just
Overall, it's kind of frustrating as an American. Culture differences of how things are set up. Now, moving on from this, another problem with bathrooms and with the rest of the house is there's no ventilation. So
there's no fans.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
So when you're done taking a shower, you have to leave your door open, that bathroom door open, so that it can air out. Because if you don't,
It's gonna get so smelly. All the drain is gonna stink.
The whole house is really gonna stink unless you don't ventilate the apartment, especially if you have your sludge bags. Now, I will say most Korean houses have the little like bucket, and you just put it in the bucket, close it up, and that will help the smell. But the Airbnb that we stayed at, both of them did not have the sludge bag bucket, so it was
not
on the
pleasant.
counter, smelling really gross, because they only come she'd only tell me like once a week when it was about to come. So that's a week's worth of old crusty food and liquids just sitting in that bag on the counters.
Oh, and then so let's talk about like the technicalities of ventilation for a second. So Korean homes a long time ago, how they ventilated was they had these thin paper walls, and it would kind of ventilate for itself, and the floors is where they would heat in the winter time. They would like burn coals and stuff underneath the floor, so heat would travel up and then it could come out of the paper walls. In the summertime it could come out easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now in America we do not have that. We don't have thin paper walls. What happens is usually we have an attic, and there's like little we're not like, our houses are not completely sealed. They're sealed on top so no water comes in. They're sealed enough, but it's able to ventilate itself the way our houses are built. Korea, even though they are no longer having those paper walls, they have not figured out ventilation, or they don't really care for it.
Like just central AC in general will really help with all of that, with filtering out the air and everything like that. So it's just cultural differences.
Yep. So now every time, like in Korea, if it's hot, you gotta go open up all those windows. If it's cold, you gotta open up all those windows. It is the most annoying thing when you first experience it. After being there for a while, I became the crazy Korean woman where I'm like, ventilate.
And I would recommend ventilating during the day, not at night. At night, bugs could come into your house.
Yes.
Had that happen because my screen part had a problem, and I had like 50 bugs in my room. It was literally awful. It was the worst thing. But I'd say, just ventilation's.
It's awkward for us as an American because we're not used to having to do that. That's why we explain it. So
I mean, it's not awful. Like that's their culture. They did, advance with technology, not too long ago. So they haven't advanced fully to where we are now here in America. So I mean, you do have to give them, room like that.
And it's not like the worst thing in the world. It is a little uncomfortable, especially in the winter time, because you come home to a really cold house. But by ventilating, it makes the air fresh. It makes, the place enjoyable. So it's not like, again, we're saying it's disgusting and it's awful. It's just frustrating as Americans because we don't have to do that, and it's kind of a little inconvenient. Because
Yeah.
it's something we normally don't think about. All right, let's move on to our next one.
This is kind of like all with just having to do with the restaurants in general. A lot of times when you get like a drink at a restaurant, I will say most of the time it comes in a bottle, and it's usually cold when it's in the bottle. But sometimes they don't even have that, and you have no ice.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
And like you can ask if they have ice. They don't. What they usually do is they take the glass cups and they leave them in refrigerators because they're sterile, and they have like these sterilized refrigerators, and then like you have a cold glass and then you put your cold drink in there, which when I was little I hated ice. When I was young I used to ask for no ice. Now I was like, I don't know how I ever lived without ice.
Thankfully,
So
like if you do go to the convenience stores, you will find this like ice cup little freezer, and in the freezer there's cups of ice because there's this little baggie of drinks, and it's like the perfect size if you get a big one or a small one. Big cup, small cup.
Perfect size for Coke.
And it's the perfect amount. Like
yes.
the ice to liquid ratio is
And it's not
perfect.
very expensive.
No, it's maybe $1.80, maybe, if that.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
feel like
think
it was
it's-
way cheaper.
It was ridiculously cheap. But
Yeah.
if you bring that to the restaurant, you get ice.
So yeah, there's no ice, there's no free refills. In America, when you go out to eat, especially at a restaurant, you get a drink and they fill it up usually, and then the waitress will come back and fill it up. So, sorry, Emily is having a little...
It just keeps leaking. You will see more about this probably on Wednesday, but I had nose surgery last week, and yeah, my nose has been leaking a lot today.
So, it is kind of frustrating to not have any free refills. It just makes you want to drink more water, honestly.
I know at one time we were at KFC, and I'm 90% sure it said on the sign that to get a refill it would cost 500 won. I don't really know if that's what it said. We would go up to refill our drinks like 2 or 3 times, and being a foreigner, we could get away with it. They're not gonna say anything.
We weren't trying to.
That is,
but we weren't trying to like break a law or anything. We really had no idea about it until like my 4th time going up there, and I was reading and I was like, oh,
maybe that's what that says. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
we're not very sure till this day. It didn't really stop us though, but
they did not care whatsoever.
They weren't paying attention, and then
they're not going to say anything to us, so it's like, whatever. It's a minor thing.
Oh, you want to know another? We don't have this written down. Another frustrating thing at restaurants is sometimes you want to eat alone, which is a little weird, but sometimes you go out to eat by yourself. It's normal in Korea, kind of, but sometimes you have to order 2 sets. Which is like
double
set,
it's like 1 portion, like 1 meal basically.
So it's like 2 meals. Yeah.
And then along with that, you can't take the food home.
No.
They won't let you. I mean, they won't like stop you, but they will have nothing to like put your food in to take it home. And
so you can't order like, so it's mostly where you buy like meat. So if you're going to go and eat samgyeopsal, which is pork belly, and you want to order pork belly, you can't be like samgyeopsal juseyo. No, you gotta be like 2 sets samgyeopsal juseyo, which means like I want 2 sets, because they will tell you. They'll be like, oh, sorry, you can't have 1. You gotta have 2.
Or sometimes 3.
Yeah, sometimes 3.
When it's at what we would do is we would go to like Daiso or Miniso, and we would buy Tupperwares, and we would bring like what is that, like a tote bag, like some kind of bigger bag that we could like fit things in, and then as we were eating, we would just slowly like.
And we would try to do it secretively because we would get judged from the waiters. They would be watching us. So what we would do is Emily would act like she was going for a bite, and I would act like it, and then I'd be like bloop, and it would just fall into my lap. So. Yeah, you can do that. I don't really know if there's a rule against it, but we just felt uncomfortable.
Look, the way I like it, I paid for it. I have all rights to take my food home.
And they give you tons of food. Korean food is delicious. You want to bring that sucker home. It is amazing, okay? So...
yeah, I would just say, just buy some. They're super cheap. You can get like 3 or 4 for like $1. So just go to Daiso, pick them up, eat your food.
Okay, so our next one we want to talk about is unnecessary attention.
I'm going to say this now, just because we're white or a foreigner or just anything that's not, Asian or Korean, does not a reason to stare 24/7.
Yeah, so we know that in Korea they didn't have a lot of foreigners before, and it's kind of new for them. It's only on TV, so we understand it. But when you're going out every day and like it's just constant, even in the tourist areas they stare, or they want to come up and talk to you, which granted we love talking to them, they're very nice people, but sometimes it goes overboard. Like, if I'm up at like 2 in the morning and I want to go get me a cup of ice at the sea,
like, maybe we can add this into a story time, because it was a little bit awkward of a night. But anyways, we were going to the store so I could get some water, and after a while,
like 2 in the morning,
these dudes go to their apartment, get on their scooter, and then try and come and find us afterwards.
And then he left his friend. They tried to chase us, and then he left his friend because his livery took off and his friend was still standing there.
So yeah, that's the kind of thing, like, what we mean by unnecessary attention. Like, it's 2 in the morning. Go home. Go to bed. Like, leave us alone, please.
Yeah, you're exhausted sometimes, and sometimes you just don't want people to notice you.
Yeah, you just want to look ugly, and you can't, because they're always looking, or they're always talking, or
that
taking pictures.
That didn't stop me. I don't really care. Yeah, they do like to take pictures sometimes too. But Korea, they have this thing, because they had a lot of problems with them taking secret photos, that they, no matter what, have the sound of when the camera clicks.
They were so confused, because when we can turn our phones on to silent, and
when we take a picture,
there's no
quiet.
sound. So I would like give my friends the phone, like, where's the sound? There's no sound. So I have to like turn the volume up, and then like turn the sound all the way up so they could hear the sound. I'm like, we can't do that. And it's like, yeah, I know, because y'all are
perverts.
So it's like, you know,
yep,
things like that, you know, it's a funny situation, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then the last one, maybe the most controversial one, is old people.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Let's just say first, we have so many old people who are our friends in Korea. They're like grandmas to us. We love them. We love being around them. They take care of us. So there are certain ones that, you know, we did grow pretty close to, but there are some that
it's not all of them, for sure.
It's just...
So we're mostly talking about, I don't know anyone personal that has ever been rude, but
and like strangers that are just
yeah. So you know, like there's an honor system in Korea. The older ones should be respected, and the younger ones should respect them. Even the way they talk to each other, there's an honor system. So as older ones, they expect you to have respect for them, especially because they lived through some hard times, man.
I mean, they really did.
They lived through some really hard times. A lot of them were still alive when North Korea and South Korea split. So, like, and a lot of their families were stuck in North Korea and stuff. So it's like,
I get the reason, but
yeah,
also it's like you know, you want so much respect, but then you don't give any respect really for young people.
And I don't think I think it's mostly like, okay, so let's give an example. If we're on the bus and a young person worked like all day long and they are exhausted and they want to sit down in a chair that's not elderly, like, what's it called? Reserved. It's not elderly reserved spot. Of course you don't sit there. But say a younger person's really exhausted, worked a hard day, they sit down in a non-elderly reserved place, a place for younger people to sit. And an older person gets on and, you know, they're going out. This is when they first come out. They're like, ooh, party, party, party. And that young person's exhausted going home. That older person will expect that younger person to sit up. And out of respect, even in America, a lot of people will get up and let them sit down. That's just manners. But
that old person will demand that
they will rip that person out of that chair. And it's like, these are not old people that are like, you know, struggling to get around. These are old people that are like hiking on the mountains 2 and 3 times a week. And why do they want to sit down? I have seen this so many times, and it has pissed me off so much because I can't do anything about it. But they're just sitting there on their phone.
Yeah.
Texting their friends. Literally playing games, texting their friends, sitting on their phone, and that's why they want your seat. It's like, okay, first of all, you're just now coming out. You are not in any way, shape, or form, you know, injured or anything. And, you know, you will literally rip someone out of their chair.
And they'll publicly embarrass them, which is, like, very uncomfortable. And so, and granted, the person should have sat up. There's so many ways of looking around it. It's just, overall, the confrontation is kind of weird for other people to experience. Also, they don't know personal boundaries. Like, I've had an old man literally pick me up and move me to the side so that he could just keep walking straight instead of walking around me, that there was plenty enough room. Because I left enough room because I was looking for something for one of the buildings. So I stepped out of the way, yet he still felt the need to move me.
It's so annoying. Like, I had an old lady, we were going down an escalator, and these are like some really tall escalators, not any like short ones. These are like, you know, 4 or 5 story like escalators, like really, really steep. And this old lady, on the escalators, there's 2 sides. There's a walking side where you walk down it, and there's a standing side. I was in the standing side. This old lady's in the walking side. Old lady decides, I don't want to walk anymore. Literally elbows me in my rib cage, pushing me down the escalator, almost like stumbling and falling down the escalator just so she can take my spot, so she don't have to walk down. Like, that's the kind of things when we mean by old people, like, that has happened.
Or, you know, it's very common. So usually on the subway stations, you are very quiet. Even if you're talking to your friend, you whisper, you try and be polite to the other people on the subway. Nope, not old people. They will sit there, 여보세요? 네, 너 어디 있어요? They'll be like the loudest people ever.
But
I know
if you
all
make
the
a
business.
peep,
oh yeah.
no.
Then the old people will be like,
they're gonna tell you off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, have we met quite a few nice old people on the subways?
So
yes.
many. Oh my gosh, there is way more nice people than there are mean. Just letting that be known. But when they're mean, they're
mean. They're like, they're next level mean when they are mean. So,
and that might just be because they had a bad day, or they felt disrespected from somebody else, and they were just not having a good day. So
that's just some things that we have experienced in Korea that we just don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, other people may have things that they don't like about Korea that we didn't personally experience. These are things we experienced and we just don't like them.
Or maybe something that we talked about, y'all are like, I don't really care about that. That's fine.
Like,
that's good.
You know, but
if you enjoyed stanky bathrooms,
good to you.
Yeah.
But for us, no. I'm sorry, we don't.
Yes.
But yeah, so that is all of the things that we dislike about Korea for today. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up, and also comment down below if you have been to Korea and something maybe you disliked about it that we didn't talk about,
or what you dislike about America,
or just any country.
Yeah,
what do you dislike about anything?
Yeah.
Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos.
Click the notification bell
to be alerted whenever we post a new video. And yeah, so that is all for today. So bye.